Hey, Julie Roussel here. Hey, welcome to Wacky Wednesday, where you never know what the topic's going to be. And hey, sometimes I am not running on time, so I'm going to admit that right off the bat. So hey, welcome and thanks for joining in, whether you are popping in right now, live, or you are catching on the replay. I'm glad that you can make it for a little kitchen quarantine conversation. As always, if you hear something that resonates with you or that you can commiserate with, leave me some love. Answer the question in the thread for me. Drop a comment in there as well if you have an interesting or funny story you want to share. Share the video with anyone you think it might help, and PM me if you have questions or want to hear more. I'm always happy to share the things that I'm learning, although I don't have all the answers, but I hope that they help you. So hey, welcome. I see there are a lot of people joining in. So hey, welcome. It is great to see you, although I can't actually see you. But hey, welcome and thanks for popping in. Hey, Dawn, long time no see, lady. Hey, thank you. Hey, lady. Oh gosh, it is wonderful to see you. And like I said, there's a lot of people joining in and I can see that on my screen, but unfortunately I am not seeing who it is. So if I'm miswelcoming you, I'm really sorry. Oh, there you are. Hola, Magali. Nice to see you. Hey, lady. Say hola to the girls, please. And hola to Rich. We missed seeing you guys in workout class. I see a few more joining in, but like I said, I'm not seeing anything on my end. So maybe I'm peeking at my notes, or maybe Facebook is lagging, but don't tell Facebook I said so, because I might get put in Facebook jail or something. So anyways, until I can figure out who it is, or you wave or give me a hey, or if you want to answer the question thread, because there's a story that goes along with this, and usually mine are like disaster stories, so maybe you can relate. So tonight I wanted to share, like I said, a short disaster story, what I learned, and hopefully how it can benefit you. So the question for the night: to cut or not to cut? That's not working well. Could you feel my pain? And if you've ever had bangs, or even if you've ever, been playing around with your scissors, and some of us seem to be doing that a little bit more often right now than previously ever attempted, but situation, I guess, calls for it. But I wanted to share a quick story about it, what I learned, and most of you know that I wear bangs. I mean, you can see I have bangs. And I wear a layered bangs, and I love the look and the easy style that it provides, and that I really don't have to mess around with it a whole lot most times. And I do wear the bangs because I have a larger, wider forehead, and the style seems to work with me. But normally I get them cut and trimmed once a month, thanks to my amazing stylist, who also happens to be a friend of mine. And unfortunately though, because things have been closed for the last month or so, I've noticed that my bangs are getting really long and they are starting to hang out. Oh, hey, Bob, thanks for popping in. It is so good to see you. It's been a while. Hey, and like I said, I see more and more joining in, but I keep missing you. Like I said, it's not showing me who, unless you answer the question in the thread, or leave me a little love and let me know, or pop in and say hey. So like I said, my bangs were getting really long and they're growing out. And if I flatten them down, because I had to really work them to get them up, but they're starting to get really long and to the almost growing out in my eyes, which I really cannot stand. And it takes a lot of time and extra product in order to style them, in order to get them to behave. And they don't tend to stay as well as they get longer. So, and again, my problem on my end in Wisconsin here, the salons have been closed since the middle of March, and they're not planning to reopen them until the middle of May. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have that same problem. And I have no idea how to cut my own bangs. I've tried it twice in my life. Both times it was an utter disaster, and my stylist begged me to promise her never, never, ever to cut my own bangs. Okay, so I've been able to keep that promise. until now. Like I said, the salons are not open, so it's going to be a little crazy, and we'll be opening for maybe another month, maybe 2. I have no idea. Oh, hey, Leslie. I see you joining in. It's so good to see you, neighbor. It's been a while. I hope you are well. And like I said, I see a few more joining in, but I keep not seeing that unless you leave a comment or you're actually in long enough, I guess. I'm not real certain. But like I said, I'm going to continue on, and hopefully I'll be able to welcome you. Like I was saying, the salons aren't open. I have no idea when they're going to open again. Don't. Dawn, are you sure? Well, let me finish the story, and maybe you might change my mind. But anyways, my mind wasn't open to the possibility of ever cutting my own bangs because I'd had 2 disastrous experiences, and my stylist was not very pleased with me. But unfortunately, right now with the situation, I decided that maybe, just maybe, I should learn how to trim and layer my own bangs just in the meantime until the salons open again. And I know it sounds really easy when you say, oh, I'm just gonna trim my own bangs. It's not. That's why they're professionals. But I've been studying videos on Facebook as well as looking up a few on YouTube. And I do have the scissors and the hair scissors and the cape. So I will be cutting this weekend. So let's hope it all turns out well. I still have some practicing to do before this weekend when I start cutting. So wish me luck. Any positive thoughts for that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, but seriously though, what I learned from this situation is that my mind had been very closed. Let me dump that over here instead of in front of my face. My mind had been very close to the possibility of learning a new skill, even if it was just cutting bangs. I don't know about that, Magali. I don't know. Thanks, Dawn. I love and appreciate it, lady. Thank you. But what I learned is that my mind was very closed to the possibility of learning how to cut my own bangs. And I didn't believe that I could even acquire the skill that and that I would never need it. But unfortunately, necessity has forced that change. I don't know, Dawn. I might have to go back to my, high school style if I do that, maybe. But in the current situation, but like I said, but keeping our minds close to that possibility is very similar to the current situation most of us are dealing with, where we never ever thought that we could shelter and be quarantined for 2 months. We never thought that we could have a work from home job that would be a real job and not some sort of scheme, or that many people would ever be laid off because they were with a stable company, that there'd ever be a Lysol or toilet paper shortage, or we'd be virtual schooling our kids. And over the last couple months, I've noticed that we've been adapting and overcoming a lot of challenges and developing new skills in different areas. And especially in areas we never would have considered if we hadn't had that, if the situation had never occurred. Now, I'm not saying it's a great situation, but usually it's the toughest situations that teach us and the most and bring out the best in us. So how this benefits you. What I've learned is that we need to apply that same principle, having an open mind and challenging ourselves, because that challenge will make us stronger and we'll have I even lost my train of thought. And we do have more potential than we ever thought. And we're never too old to learn a new trick or two, even if it's just a little snip, snip, or a lot of snip, snip. So if you could relate to my bang trimming, if you want to leave your hair disaster trimming moment, tell me a funny story in the thread. I would love and appreciate it. But if you heard something that resonates with you, leave me a little bit of love as well. Answer the question, drop in and just say, hey, tell me how you're doing. Share the video with anyone you think it might help. And PM me if you have questions or want to hear more about challenging your own limits. So set limits so instead of setting limits for ourselves, we set limits a lot. And what those limits do is they will limit and hold us back because our minds are closed to that possibility. But many times the current situation forces that challenge upon us. It forces us to change beyond ones we ever thought possible. Thanks for the love. I couldn't even see who it was. Thanks, my friends. It's good to see you. And like I was saying, the situation forces us to challenge our limits, forces us to change and go in new directions. And we realize that we're capable of so much more than we ever thought. So no matter the situation, whether it's virtual schooling, working from home, or even learning to trim those wayward bangs, your mindset determines your limits. So have an open mind. Constantly challenge your own limits. It'll bring you the biggest benefits, not to mention the best blessings in your life, including some handy little skills. I'll catch you later.